you had mentioned, because the back pain was so severe, your pain in your heels was so severe, you're basically using walking sticks and things like that. What's your level of function today? I mean, how do you contrast from the lowest point to where you've come in just, less than a year, I think?
Yeah, it's been about 2 years of going through this, but less than a year on Carnivore, I should say. I went from mobility aids. I go to physical therapy multiple times a month. I am deadlifting again. I'm doing some of my CrossFit exercises. I am making gains like way faster than when I was healthy a few years ago, working out 5 days a week, was not seeing the results that I am now. It's crazy. And you get like, I've seen this in some of your videos that you post, like you get this amazing pump exercising now. Things that I would have had to take supplements for to get that kind of pump. And now being fueled with, meat and eggs and a little bit of dairy, I'm like, holy cow, I don't get the shakes afterwards. And I can do 45-minute workouts again versus before, like I would only be able to do mobility exercises really, really light. And that was even just a few months ago.
Yeah, that's quite remarkable. I mean, it's, like I said, I mean, because you said you're 31 now, so you were, in your 20s and you're walking around with, crutches and canes. I mean, that had to play a number on your mental health. I mean, did you have some sort of like, I'm not doing good with this and all these other things going on? And how has the diet impacted, or, everything you've changed, how has it impacted your sort of your outlook?
Yeah, you definitely fall into some pretty heavy lows because, friends are having kids. I'm not having kids. We don't have kids currently. I can't go hiking. I love to hike. I have this trail right by our house that goes out to this lookout. I haven't been able to do that in probably over a year. And I used to just walk it like it was no big deal. It shouldn't be hard. But now I can do those things. I still have some of the hypermobility issues, which that just is something we're going to work on with time. That'll take some treatments, but it definitely affected my mental health in terms of it's just depressing. You want to be out and participating in social events and you don't feel good. Yeah. But now I'm starting to get back to it. I mean, this disease has been tough. It's really taken a toll on my liver. And, I have to be careful with social outings still because now I've developed some chemical sensitivity. So I can't be around people with perfume. I've turned into one of those people, but nothing you can do. So, it's really cool now because I can tell, I don't know, coming off sugar, because I know sugar messes with our I don't know if you call it mental health, but because you get like the dopamine response when you eat all that sugar. I've noticed there's so much more clarity. I'm happier and I'm not feeling those massive lows like I was when obviously things were much worse.
Yeah, that's. I mean, obviously your situation has improved. So somebody say, "Well, I'm not as sick, so I'm going to feel better." But I think actually the good nutrition actually helps our brain function better as well. So I mean, people around you, obviously, you said you don't have kids, but I assume you have maybe a spouse or a partner or something like that, and they had to have seen this transformation. Obviously, the physical therapist that you're working with. Has anybody said, "Hey, what are you doing? Are you telling people that I'm just eating a carnivore diet, just eating a bunch of meat?" And what's been the response?
Yeah, I told my physical therapist. He's done carnivore, which that worked out. So he's already familiar with it. And he's like, I was wondering if you were going to try that. And he's already seen the results. So I lost 20 pounds within the first, I don't know, 6 to 8 weeks. And a lot of it was just inflammation and water weight. I mean, even my doctor's office, they were like, whoa, we didn't realize how inflamed you were. From like a physical appearance, you could see all the inflammation just started to go away. Like my face was super puffy. But at physical therapy, he's already seen massive improvements. Like I'm able to ride the dirt bike again, which I haven't rode in years. So it's super cool. And he's like, okay, well, now we got to get you stronger for your dirt bike. So he's been putting me to work and seeing how fast, like I'm upping the weight, which is so cool.
Yeah, that's got to feel good. I mean, particularly, you put in all this time and effort in the gym before. I mean, it sounds like you trained before and you just, you kind of, it's very slow. You don't make much progress. And to suddenly start making progress, it's a lot more fun. Hey, you mentioned you were on the Wahl's protocol and that's class, from my understanding is she typically uses that for multiple sclerosis. Maybe she's had something for other autoimmune conditions as well. But how did you get involved in that? What made you decide to do that? And what were you doing? And how was it either helping or not helping you?
Yeah, my doctor recommended that initially. He started off recommending a low mold diet. Dr. Jill Krista has a really good little cheat sheet that you can use for foods that are low mold and then foods to avoid. So that was kind of our starting point because we had to tackle the mold. You can't treat your other diseases like Lyme, Bartonella, if mold is blocking it, because that's going to take over. So he put me on the Wahl's protocol because from what it sounds like, he's seen good improvements with that with people that have these autoimmune diseases. Because the Wahl's protocol typically is low mold. You might have to just knock out a few things. And he wanted to keep my bowels moving because that was one of the biggest things. When I first started seeing my doctor, it was terrible. So much constipation. Mold just like stops your GI tract. I didn't even know that was a thing. And we had to start working on that. So, and he wanted me to incorporate organ meats, which not a liver fan, I'll be honest, but I can do beef heart. And we actually have a guy that lives down the road who does cattle and he gives me his beef hearts, which is really nice. So that's been cool. But it was for my doctor to do the Wahl's protocol, but I couldn't, like, even when I thought I was doing okay on it, those vegetables, I couldn't do. Looking back, like I see photos and I was still really bloated and puffy when I was eating all of those.
Yeah, you mentioned a smoothie. I assume you were blending up vegetables, and was that part of that too? Was trying to get that down there?
Yeah, tons of vegetables, like so much in a day that you can't just eat all those leafy greens. Mm-hmm. There's no way.
Yeah, it's the thought is you get such a high amount of these supposed antioxidants, which we don't really absorb well anyway. It's kind of funny. And yeah, I vegetable smoothies, I can't think of anything more unpleasant to drink in my mind. I mean, I wouldn't want to do that, but are you working right now? Or, I mean, I'm not sure you're at work or at home or something like that.
Yeah, I'm working from home today. I actually work for Dr. Cochran's office now.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. I just started a month ago. And before I was a vet tech. I was a vet tech for 12 and a half years. And my spine just couldn't take it anymore. I mean, I wasn't feeling good. And that's a hard job.
Yeah, I mean, was it small animal or is it larger animals too? Just like dogs and cat type of vet?
Yeah, dogs and cats. And I loved it. I was our lead tech for the last 7 years. And it was awesome. You love getting to work with the animals. I worked with amazing people. So it was like leaving my family. That was hard to do, but my doctor's office offered me a job to help take over the wife's position eventually. She's the manager. So yeah, I was flattered.
Oh, very good. And you certainly are an advertisement for what he's doing has worked, and I'm happy to see they're using nutrition, particularly the carnivore diet. That's still, even though it's becoming more and more common, but it's still pretty rare.